Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at Cornerstone task for Asia. This goes along with the World History 1 standards of Virginia for Standard 11. This looks specifically at trade routes and kind of how they impacted one another. For this Cornerstone task, here is your scenario. You are an investigative reporter for the History Channel, responsible for presenting information for an upcoming documentary called The World's First Trade Routes. The director of the documentary has no idea what is important about the trade routes, the civilizations along them, what was traded, nor how the trade routes impacted the varying cultures. He has asked that you provide him with an easy-to-understand map with labels of regions, all routes, specific civilizations along the routes, goods traded, and an analysis of how trade has affected each culture. The rubric for the project is here. I'm going to go over the advanced column. There's 4 things that we're mainly looking for: location, evidence, analysis, and then creative production and innovation. So for location, we're looking for you to do exemplary depictions of the different trade routes using the correct location to identify them. This also includes the different geographical features. For this one, it would be that you have everything that's listed under geography on your actual map. The second one we're looking for is evidence. So evidence includes the summary, but also the map. So the map is very, very detailed. It has all of the different things that are required, but then you also, in your summary, are able to give an analysis of evidence to support your analysis about technology, goods, and ideas, and that were essential to civilization and trade. Analysis, the other one, this is primarily coming from your 3 paragraph summaries that you're going to do. So you're explaining exactly how different cultures were affected by trade routes and making connections between different cultures. The last one here is creative production and innovation. So we're looking for that you're able to fully meet the specifications, and in a very original way, that your product is going to be extremely valuable, going back again to the actual description of the project above, and that it is going to be kind of creative in your way that you complete that. So there's 2 ways to complete this project. You either can do it on paper through a paper copy of this, or you can do it via Google Drawings. This video is going to focus primarily on how to do it digitally, and I'll show you exactly what to do to complete that. So this is the map that we're going to be working with here. We have the elements that are necessary as a part of that map here. So these are the things that you're going to be labeling on your actual map. So I'm going to show you, first of all, how to do that, but then also how to label the map. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and open a Google Drawing. So if I'm in my Google Drive, I can go to New, and then click on More, and then come down to Google Drawings. This is essentially like the paint feature in your computer, and it'll open a brand new place for me to kind of do some drawings. You can already see that there's a text box here that we can label, etc., etc. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my map. I'm going to click on it, and I am going to hit copy so that I can create a copy of that map and then paste it into my larger painting. Now, I'm going to kind of make my screen just a little bit smaller to fit the actual specifications of the map. So now that I have done that, I have the ability to now draw on this map here. If I go back to my actual Cornerstone task sheet, it tells me exactly what needs to be labeled on my map, what trade routes need to be labeled, and then the goods and tech services using small pictures. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what I would do here if I was to do this. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to come up here and create a tool, a text box. Now, when you create your text box, you can drag and drop and make it as big as you wanted it to be. So I'm going to make this one, for its example, for Russia. So what I also want to do is kind of make it so that it is in the middle, and then I can make my text box smaller to fit. I also can then come up here and create I can enclose my box using different lines here if I wanted to. I'm just going to keep it very basic. So now I have labeled Russia on my map, so I can go back here and I can check it off on my areas. Now, notice it's not one of the areas here, but it is a particular country that we know that we should have. Now, if I was to create, for example, a trade route, I would want to come up here to the arrows, and I would want to create a curved connector because that's going to connect one area to the other. So say that I was wanting to create, for example, a trade route that went through Russia. I can start one in here, I can do one in here, and then I can move by moving the triangle in the center, I can kind of move my map kind of where I want it to be, etc. Another option here is to create a scribble. So this will allow me to create a particular trade route, say for example to here. Okay, so then I now have my big line. I can unclick, go back to my arrow, and I can drag and drop my line kind of where I want it to be. I can also make that bigger by coming up here and making it 3 times. I can make it a dotted dash if I wanted to. One thing that you may decide that you want to do is add a key kind of down here in the bottom. If we wanted to do that, I'd change the background to white. I would call it key. I would show that my dash, dash, dash line is a trade route. Just like in Word, you can make these smaller by changing the text font and whatnot, so you can make this kind of whatever font you want it to be by using the keys that are up here. So the other thing that I might do here is that I would, now that we've gone over trade routes, we've gone over labeling an area, we would need to label the goods and services. So say, for example, I'm wanting to do money. I would want to make sure that I added that to my key. I can then insert an image. I can either search from the web or I can find my own image from the computer. So for example, I'm going to go and just want to create like paper money clip art. So once I grab paper money clip art, I then have these pictures that I can use. Now, what you're looking for here is a picture kind of like this one where it has the squares in the background. The squares in the background is going to indicate that this is transparent, so it's not going to have any background, so it'll go seamlessly onto your map. I'm just going to save it to my desktop, which will make it easy to find. Then I can come back here and I can copy and paste this here. So, it didn't come transparent. Let's see if we can change that. So I have my image here now. I can make it smaller, as small as I need it to be, and I might put paper money here, and then I would, on my key, I would insert picture. And I would want to make sure that I label this as paper money so that people will know that this is what I'm kind of going for here. Okay, so I'm going to put that here, make it really small. So then people know that this is paper money. Okay. So now I have labeled my map with some of these identifying images. I would do this for the rest of the images here. Now, once I have finished my map, I am going to save it with Adkins, your name and Cornerstone number 2. So I would save it as Adkins-Cornerstone number 2. Now, you can share this directly with me from here, just like a Google Doc. However, it won't be complete. So we're going to want to make sure that we add it, we download it as a JPEG so that we can then start a new Google Doc where we are doing our 3-paragraph analysis. Okay, so I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to create a Google Doc. I'm going to insert my image into this Google document. Again, changing my name here, Cornerstone number 2. And then I'm going to insert my map so that, because I've downloaded it as a JPEG to my downloads, and so I can then put my map at the top of my page, which allows me to see the map with your analysis. Now, the other thing that it needs to do, your map has to have is this summary. So after completion of the map, you have to describe the different religions, so Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam, goods, spices, textile, porcelain, paper, sugar, water mills, and technology. So this would be navigation tools, the sugar wheels, and whatnot, and describe how they interacted with one another. So this is where that's going to happen. You might label your first one, for example, religion. And there needs to be a 5 to 7 sentence paragraph about religion here. Then you would do one for goods, and again, a 5-paragraph sentence, and then technology. And again, you have your sentence here. Okay, so after you have finished that, you can then complete the summary, title the Google Doc your name, Cornerstone 2, and then submit it by sharing it with me. I will continue to allow you to sign up for one-on-one sessions. Okay, so please make sure that you are signing up for those if you need help with this Cornerstone task. Thanks, guys.